Hello Transformers fans, welcome. This is David Lees and I'm pleased to bring you my latest video which will review Transformers A Bold New Era issue 9. I've got issue 8 and 9 here at the start of the video. Just want to do a very quick recap of where we were at the end of last time. You may recall Cyclonus crashed into Autobot security and said, "I know where the Rise are hiding," gave them the location of this ancient monument on Cybertron. And so we reached the end. I just want to call this out because it's really quite interesting, quite relevant. There's a conversation between Chromia and Sideswipe, and Chromia says, in no uncertain terms, "Hey, we're going to break out the arsenal. I am definitely not going out undergunned this time." So it's just part of the. There we go. Get the adjustments right. There we are. Notify Orion packs, I'm breaking out the arsenal. We're going hunting and we're absolutely not going undergunned this time. Outstanding, replies Sideswipe. Just the way I like Sideswipe from G1. Gung-ho, rash, and up for a fight. So that's where we left off. I'll bring you straight over to issue 9. But I just wanted to recap from there because that turned out to be quite relevant for today's video. Issue 9, featuring amongst others Starscream and Hound. Enjoy this because you won't actually see them inside the covers, but never mind, we'll come to that later. There's the recap, Cyclonus and Flame War. Reminder that Cyclonus knows where the Ascenticons are hiding. Megatron has his brief discussion with Turgomax, who is completely sidelined. Megatron happy to continue with his plans. Bumblebee joining the Ascenticon security sort of force as a bodyguard, and then, as I mentioned, Cyclonus and Chromia. Cyclonus sharing the location of the hidden Rise base, and then that straight recap. We're going hunting and we're absolutely not going undergun this time. So here we go. All the people in this issue: Flame War, Bumblebee, Prowl, Windblade, Elita 1, Chromia, and Sideswipe. Interestingly, there is no Orion packs, no Megatron. We were promised the return at some point of Sentinel Prime and Starscream. Got to keep waiting, folks. Still not here yet. But we pick up the story with Sideswipe, Chromia, and Windblade as they reach the site of the memorial. So here we are, commenting that it seems a very strange place to hide a base. But since most people stay away from it anyway, ideal hiding place, even though it's desecrating a former memorial site. They have a chat with Giamotus, one of my least favourite characters. She doesn't seem to add any pace to the story, but it does indicate here that it's the cracks beneath their feet, are caused by major excavation being done by amateurs in a hurry. Here we are. Major excavation carried out carelessly. It's too shallow, undampened drills, misplaced explosives, but major excavation nonetheless. So we leave them there. We come back to Sideswipe, who is getting together his expansion era caged plasma bolt projector. Mega cycles old, but still working perfectly. That's down here in the corner. Sideswipe loves his weapons. It's good to see some directed energy weapons, whatever you want to call them, banned by the post-war treaties, but nonetheless, Sideswipe's got his hands on some. Love it. A thermal lance. It's a thing of beauty, as he described it. We get to this point, and suddenly dawns on Chromia, who has clearly not been concentrating up to this point, with one of the most unfortunate and foreshadowing lines of the issue. "Maybe we should have brought some bigger guns, though." Yep, that's the one who definitely, absolutely was not going to be outgunned this time. Unfortunately, it turns out they are going to be. Without giving too much away, it's going to be a complete disaster. But there you go. Moving on, we find Prowl, who has gone into complete bad cop mode. Lovely to see Prowl taking the initiative and getting on with it. Finds himself headlock, excuse me. This sort of non-aligned robot, kind of street dweller, and Prowl gets heavy-handed with him. I'm sure he's decided in advance he's going to start roughing Headlock up, get some information out of him, and it ends with this beautiful line. And you suddenly realise what's going on, even though you may have had your suspicions previously. You didn't tell me anything before, Headlock, says Prowl. No, not you. Barricade, your pal Barricade, gave him full cooperation, told him everything I knew about that Void new securities we're looking for. So, Barricade, well-known Decepticon from the recent live-action movies, working in the security, seemed a bit misplaced at the time, and potentially is, since it turns out he's probably been covering up. We go back on, to Sideswipe and team back at the memorial site, and one thing I do love about this issue is the degree of pace. It hardly stays anywhere for 2 pages or more. Let's see what's in there. So they throw down a drone kind of sensor thing. Don't get any data from it. It's wired for anti-comms, lined with transmission shielding. They can't get any useful information, so they decide they're actually going to have to go down. Sideswipe stays on guard at the entrance on the surface. The other two, Chromia and Windblade, make their way down into this hastily excavated underground cavern. And it turns out that they're being monitored. There's this little insect kind of bug here, which transpires has a camera in it, obviously. And we see 6-shot, Flame War, and I believe it's Shadow Stalker possibly down there. They're getting ready to evacuate in quite a hurry, and Flame War is told to get up top. Shadow Striker set the charges. You know that they're going to do. They're obviously scuttling and running. Everyone else has been evacuated. I'll deal with our intruders. We cut back immediately to the intruders, Windblade and Chromia, and you can see it's getting tense. They're starting to identify all sorts of issues. Brainstorm's killer must have been here, and there's a lovely little line that shows the Autobots are putting together the pieces very, very slowly. I'll just zoom in again. They've got armoury, repair bay, and so on. How much have I realised that they've stolen so much stuff? Excuse me for not focusing. There we go. It's incredible. There's some sort of receiving array for microwave beamed energon, but that would mean they were being down from orbit. Now, what do they have in orbit? Oh yes, the moon that we saw in great long detail in the first few issues. Anyway, they're going to jack in, as they say, get the data on who's been there, to hopefully find out who killed Rubble and Brainstorm. Windblade is told to go back up to the surface. Chromia hangs around. I'll hold here, and there's this menacing figure appearing in the background. 6-shot comes to deal with the intruders. But before we find out any more of them, straight back to Elita 1 and Bumblebee, confirming immediately what we supposed on the previous pages. Barricade has joined the ranks of the Ascenticons security. It's just a quick little confirmation. Bumblebee had to beg Soundwave to get let in, and he's waved straight out of security. Got your beat on charm, I guess. That, or the Senator recognises someone who can make a real contribution to the cause, so he's been a double agent. It's lovely to see here. A lot of the pieces are being moved and put into play. Finally seeing a lot of the culmination of the first few issues where things are moving very slowly. Here it's just one thing after another. The dominoes are tumbling very, very quickly. On that subject, Windblade comes back to the surface, to speak to Chromia, to speak to Sideswipe, and Sideswipe admits he's feeling a bit behind the game right now, to be honest. Oh yes, indeed. Who does he find? And it's Flame War. Is that a thermal lance? Yes, it is, said Sideswipe full of enthusiasm. I've got that beat. Whoosh, and suddenly the thermal lance just explodes in Sideswipe's hands, at least causing him injury, if nothing more. But we don't hang around there. Back to 6-shot, who has immediately started on Chromia. Love the pace, love the action. Really great to see some real activity going on in this issue, and there's plenty of it. 6-shot starts throwing grenades around. Chromia suffers one at close range, survives. Suddenly, Windblade comes back down below the surface, sticks a blade through 6-shot, who's communicating with the rest of your team. Bang, -5 rises, bang, -5. So you know that they are clearly going to blow the place up. The question is, are they going to get out in time? Are the Autobots going to get out in time as well? Chromia instructs Windblade to access the database, to jack in, count to 100 and get as much as you can, and then get clear before we hit 0. Shadow Stalker and the Decepticons get away. Sideswipe left on the surface fighting with Flame War. That's my cue next time, slow swipe or never. We actually have a transformation, for those who've been keeping count. This I think is the first of this issue, but Flame War actually transforms to drive away. Nice to see some of this actual pace and transforming rather than the walking and talking. There's a lot of shooting, fighting and action actually going on. And of course, if you've set a time bomb in an issue or an episode or a story, whatever, you can guarantee that it will go off. Some lovely drawn graphics. Just as the Autobots realise, where's Windblade? Is she out? What? No, I mean she was, but she went back in. What's that? Boom. You know that's Chromia. What's that? You know exactly what it is. It's the detonation of the Rise base and the catapulting of Windblade. Is she alive? Is she dead? Has she survived? Remains to be seen. But yeah, fantastic issue. Loved it. Loved the plot. Loved the plot. Loved the pace. Loved the development of all the key characters. Didn't miss Orion. Didn't miss Megatron or Soundwave or Sentinel Prime or Starscream. The characters as written all participated actively. Nice to see Prowl back in it again. I'll just whiz through very quickly on the cover gallery. This is the one where I got the general one. More relevant one with Prowl and Chromia carrying on. Nice one with Cyclonus, and this, which I am so looking forward to. The original Sin of the Autobots revealed, Transformers 84, coming out in August 2019. So from my perspective now, 3-4 weeks, I should be